I would now like to introduce our next speaker and an expert in electric vehicles, Suhas Joshi. Suhas Joshi has more than 34 years of experience in the industry with companies like Emerson's, Delta Electronics, and Exicom. He is one of the few individuals having 6+ years experience in the electric vehicles industry. He has deployed lithium ion battery manufacturing, BMS, charging infrastructure, and many more. I now invite Suhas Joshi to join Shailendra for an interactive talk on electric vehicles.
Thanks, Kasturi, for the introduction. And here we are. We are going to have a very interesting conversation with EV expert, Mr. Suhas Joshi. And soon you will realize that why we all call Suhas Master Blaster of electric vehicles. He is very passionate and he comes with huge experience. So my request to all of you is to be attentive over the next 25-30 minutes. And I'm sure that there is going to be some eureka moment for you where you will think that, yes, this is where, I wanted to do something. I wanted to get into that career, or I want to start business in particular area of electric vehicles, or I want to do invest, all those things. I'm sure that you are going to get some eureka moment. It could come in the beginning or midway or at the end. So my request to all of you is to be attentive. And without much ado, I would like to start this conversation with Suhas. So, hi Suhas, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Yeah. So Suhas, while we are talking about global warming, we are talking about government's policies which are favoring electric vehicles. But why do customers go and buy electric vehicles? Is there any incentive for them?
Yeah, see, any disruption globally or locally in India, whenever you are seen, without having a real benefit to the end consumer, nothing is going to happen. And in India is a very price sensitive country. So always the benefit, if people they see, then only they will go for the change, which is proven traditionally. I still remember the good old telecom days where the per call basis cost was practically 16 rupees. And now where it has reached, we are now the globally the cheapest data provider. So similar situation is coming in electric vehicles also. Like when I see the data on the SIAM website or any other government website, every year practically traditionally 3 crore vehicles are getting sold. So out of that 3 crore vehicle, 2 crore vehicles are two-wheelers which are getting sold. And two-wheeler usage class is typically a middle class who is very sensitive to the price, who don't want to spend much more money. And when you see 2 crores of vehicle, out of that, even 5% vehicles, if they are getting converted into electric, that we call it as a 5% EV penetration rate. Means out of 2 crore, 5% means 10 lakh vehicles will get converted. So that 10 lakh vehicles, why people will use? Now this is the best question which you will ask me, and that's what I want to understand and give a very simple answer. In the electric vehicle, there are only two factors which are very, very important. One is the energy efficiency. The traditional IC engine vehicle, where the efficiency is just 20 to 25%, not more than that. And in electric vehicle, efficiency is practically 90% plus. That is the first advantage of the electric vehicle, because you are not using any industrial combustion engine. You are using the electric motor. Second, very important point is that in electric vehicle, there are practically 5% moving parts vis-a-vis your traditional traditional IC engine vehicle. So as the number of parts are very less, the failures are very less and efficiency is very, very high. So now is the most important this thing that I am telling you, these two features, how these two features are going to get benefited to the end customer. Because the end customer is going to say that, okay, these are the features, but what benefit which I am going to get, whether it is going to get impacted my pocket in a practically beneficial way or not. So when I see the electric vehicle, I will give you a very simple example for two-wheeler as well as I will give you the example of four-wheeler. Because I feel two-wheelers are more in the market and two-wheeler penetration will start very rapidly because the gains are very, very high. If I compare apple to apple, electric two-wheeler and traditional two-wheeler, cost of both buying the cost is same, roughly about 75,000 rupees. There is the same. Today, everyone is hearing in the newspaper that the petrol price has become 100 rupees. So for traditional two-wheeler, for any good make, it gives you about 35 kilometer per liter. That is the mileage. Means roughly you can assume about 3 rupees per kilometer. So per kilometer cost is about 3 rupees. And if I consider say 1 lakh kilometer for a driving, if on an average in say 2 to 3 years if you drive, or say 4 years you drive 1 lakh kilometer, then you are going to spend minimum 3 lakh rupees. Now, if I compare these 3 lakh rupees with electric two-wheeler, what I need, the buying cost is same, 75,000 rupees. But when I charge single time electric two-wheeler, it cost me just 18 paise per kilometer. Just 18 paise per kilometer. Means for 1 lakh kilometer, I am going to spend only 18,000 rupees. Now you will come and say, no, I have the battery, what is the life, what is the thing. So I consider one more change of battery. Actually, the battery you are going to get 3 years without any problem. There's the warranty which the government gives and the manufacturer gives. But still I consider 25,000 rupees extra. So still your cost is just 45,000, 45 paise per kilometer. So 3 rupees vis-a-vis 45 paise. So you have to choose. And when you see this kind of a difference, actually any common man, if I see, is going to jump on it. Another advantage, I need not have to go to any petrol pump. I can charge it at home also. The battery, I can take it at home. I can simply bring it like and charge it like your mobile charge. So it is as simple as that. So that is going to become very simple for the common man. And one more advantage, the drive. You will not believe, as these vehicles are coming with the electric motor, there is absolutely no noise. People, they talk about the only the pollution, but noise pollution is also going to get reduced. Sometimes I have seen it's challenging that electric two-wheeler pass through you and you will not come to know that vehicle has passed. So that is maybe a challenge also. And few of the people, they have come up with that, saying that we will do some artificial intelligence noise so that you will get a feel of drive. So that is also happening in the industry today in India. So that is what I'm trying to say. The drive is very, very comfortable. And the features what you get, like in the electric two-wheeler, the number of features which are getting added, like your traditional two-wheeler, you cannot get the GPS. You have to put separate dedicated phone or something. There is no space. Here you can, even many of the manufacturers are giving the GPS screen directly on your footboard. There is a screen which is available on which you can get the driving directions. That is possible. Your mobile can get charged directly when you are actually running the vehicle. So many applications which are there in this electric two-wheeler, which are going to help you in running very smoothly, as well as you can save money also. So when you are saving money, you are comfortable. I don't think why people will not go for buying the electric vehicles. That is my clear-cut understanding, especially for two-wheeler. Now coming to the four-wheeler. Four-wheeler is little different kind of a application. So in four-wheeler, typically people who will go for four-wheelers. Now already there are few makes are already launched and many more makes are coming in the market. Already Indian companies like Tata's, Mahindras, they are launching number of models. Now the companies like Suzuki, Toyota, then MG Hector, they also launched. Honda has launched. Hyundai has launched. So they are launching the vehicles one after one, and then the vehicles will become really more popular. And when I see the competency of efficiency competency of the electric four-wheeler is little expensive than your traditional four-wheeler. So you may have to spend 2-3 lakh rupees extra. So if I consider roughly about 6.5 lakh rupees or 7 lakh rupees for your traditional four-wheeler, you end up spending about 10.5 lakh rupees. But per kilometer running cost, and the batteries are quite wide. So per running kilometer cost is for traditional two four-wheeler is 7.5 rupees, whereas in this you will get about 1 to 1.25 rupees. So 1 rupee per kilometer means you are saving practically 6 to 7 rupees per kilometer, plus no vibration, very smooth ride. You are not compromising anything. Your screens are wide screen, air conditioning is working as good as that, and very comfortable drive. When I drove first time in my life, I really felt that this is the vehicle which I can't leave, and that is the my passion which has started. And when you see the new vehicles which are coming like Teslas in India, actually people will not leave those vehicles. Those are very good vehicles, and they give you really a smooth ride. Another advantage, that traditional two-wheeler generally you will not find the automatic transmission. But in all these new electric four-wheelers, they are coming with the automatic transmission. So driving is also becoming very easy for you to get into it.
Quite interesting, Suhas, and clearly gives a feel that both two-wheeler owners and four-wheeler owners are going to get substantial reduction in the running cost. So really good to know that. So now we are coming into little technical side of it, Suhas, and would like to certainly understand. You are talking about powertrain, you are talking about battery, you are also talking about charging systems. So can you just throw some light on technical, because some of our friends here who are from engineering background, I think it would be important for them to know. And another point why I'm asking this question is that the engineering companies, or for that matter, any investors who are going into EV, they need to understand that technically also it is far advanced.
Yeah. This is very important point, because when you see the battery and the powertrain. So what is powertrain? Traditionally, in the your IC engine, the industrial combustion engine used to run by a fuel, either it is a CNG or diesel or petrol. Here, that kind of a fuel is not required. Here, it is a standard BLDC motor or the induction motor or PMDC motor. So this is used, and there are sizing criteria and all those things which is a detail engineering which we do it in our detail programs. So there we teach you all how it has to be decided. And then it comes the battery controller, and motor, and the charger. These are the four parts which are very vital in any electric vehicle. And these parts are practically 50 to 60% cost of the total vehicle. And they actually decide the fate of this whole vehicle. So if this is rugged, you need not have to really worry. So balance things, the car makers and the vehicle makers are really having a very good expertise, and these expertise are now they are developed. So absolutely not an issue. But as a study person, or when you want to get into the industry, you need to understand the nitty-gritties of this. Otherwise, it will be a very difficult task for you to understand why the cost of the vehicle is high, where you are doing the compromises, what are the approvals which are required. Because people, they talk about battery. Now, battery is a very subjective topic. Which type of battery? They say lithium ion. In lithium ion batteries, there are multiple chemistries. So which chemistry to be chosen? For two-wheeler, what is the chemistry? For three-wheeler, what is the type of a chemistry? What is the four-wheeler? What is the type of a chemistry of the cell? Only in lithium which you have to choose. That is very important. Again, the temperature. In India, you will find now it's a summer. It's 45 degree plus in northern India as ambient. If you go to the deep south, it is maybe 20-25. Somewhere suddenly the cyclone comes. It's is a rainy time. So those kind of a tropical kind of a climate, these batteries should work without any hassle. So there are lot of criteria which one has to really understand. So these battery systems how you have to pack, how you have to do the thermal management, because the temperature at which, because this is the end of the day, the battery is a chemical reaction which has to take place. So for having a chemical reaction, temperature is very, very important. So those temperatures, at what temperature it has to be charged, what temperature it has to be discharged, what is the life it is going to give. So these are all very, very vital criteria. So when we get into the detailing, we actually talk about all these things, and there you will get an idea what vehicle which I'm going to manufacture or I'm going to use. Even for usage of the vehicle, you should know what is my future on that vehicle. Because vehicle investment, you don't do it for overnight, you do it for longer time. At least in India, no one replaces, very few people replace the vehicle every 5 years. But generally, on an average, 10 years is the vehicle life. And in these vehicles, electric vehicles, there is no need to change very rapidly also. So all these parameters are very, very important. Now, apart from that, we also talk about the batteries. Then we talk about other technologies like solid state batteries. We talk about fuel cells. Fuel cell, what are the fuel cells, which are, how these are important. Then we talk about the battery management systems, because battery management system is a very important criteria. So for if at all anything is, we are assumed everything is going well, but certainly it's going to go as per Murphy's law, something is going to go bad. So when it goes bad, how you are going to get protected? You cannot put the human life at stake. So all those criteria are taken care in the battery management system. And traditionally, if you see the IC engine vehicle, people, they used to think that automotive engineer and mechanical engineers can do everything. But now, lot of role which has come for the electronics engineer and software engineer. The AI and machine learning is inevitable part of this industry, and this is going to become a really a very big change in the industry. Even as you were talking about what is the maintenance required and all, now I kept that question reserved for this session. When you are talking about the maintenance, actually the maintenance criteria is also going to change. You are not going to require to go to the maintenance shop always. You need not have to go to the garage. I can take the remote control of your vehicle sitting in my office or my garage, and I can help you in solving all your software related or any firmware related issues, which are 60 to 70% issues will be with that. Only the mechanical issues you need to go at site and solve. So those kind of changes which are going to happen, and that is the reason world is talking about driverless cars.
Okay, interesting. So typically, what is the percentage of components one will find in electric vehicles compared to IC engines? Since you are saying less of maintenance, so is it too less percentage?
It is a 5 to 10%, hardly 5 to 10%.
That's all.
That's all.
Which could mean that even the number of accidents also will come down if they are happening mainly because of certain problems with certain components, that something has failed, and suddenly it results into accident. So I'm sure it is safer vehicle as well.
It is much more safer. In fact, it is going to give you a lot of technological advanced support. So earlier that kind of a support was not possible, but with AI and machine learning, your past track records and all those things is going to help you a lot. So that is a very big advantage which I always see in this industry.
So that's very interesting. Is you just talked about that battery and the motors. These are very costly. But over last couple of years, since you have so much experience, you have worked on various EV battery projects. Is price really coming down over last, say, 5 to 7 years? And do you think it will further come down, because ultimately it will result into cost of vehicle?
Yeah. Obviously, the price of the batteries is coming down substantially. I am working in this industry for last now more than 8 years, and you will not believe, 8 years back, the battery which I used to purchase at about $900 per kilowatt hour, which has now come down in last 7-8 years to practically $130, $140. So prices are coming down. That is the first thing which I'm seeing. Second, the electronics and the machine learning abilities have gone up. So that is again making a vehicle more effective also. And the third and most important part is the battery management system. Algorithms are becoming very rugged. So that can take us through a very safe kind of a drive and the battery pack. So those technologies are improving a lot in last few years.
Okay, interesting, interesting. And I can see some questions already coming into, and there you just mentioned about fuel cell. So one question is that, are you talking about hydrogen fuel cell?
Yeah, hydrogen fuel cell is again a very good technology, which will is bound to become popular in the coming days. But the only challenge with the hydrogen fuel cell is that the weight of the hydrogen. As the weight of the hydrogen, you have seen it's a very low weight. So transportation cost is becoming very high. So the distribution cost goes high, then it is not becoming economical. That is the only main reason why hydrogen is not becoming really popular in our country as of now, at least. And second is the safety aspect, because hydrogen again it's a safety aspect also which one has to take care. But I think in the coming days with the change in technology, these all parameters which are going to come up very well in the market, and those options will be available for us and as a, in terms of choices. So EV manufacturers, they will give us those choices.
Good, Suhas. So now would like to move towards charging. Uh, so fast chargers, slow chargers, we keep on hearing that. And you also just mentioned in the beginning about some standardization. So can you just tell us something about chargers and what is the charging system?
Yeah. See, there are multiple type of charging which happens. Like I told you, for two-wheeler, you can take the battery at home and you can charge it at home. So once you charge, you travel, let's say, about 70 kilometers, and you are traveled. But suppose if someday you went for drive and you travel more than 70 kilometers, and you want to charge the vehicle in between, where you will charge. So there are public charging systems which are getting available in the market. Government is putting a lot of public charging stations. Government is making it mandatory that all the commercial complexes, your malls, your roads, petrol pumps, you will find the charging stations are going to become available. So these are all AC charging stations which are going to make available there also. And for the four-wheelers, typically, where you want to charge the battery rapidly, because say like say you are traveling say from Delhi to Chandigarh, or you are traveling say from Mumbai to Pune, and the distance is more than 200-300 kilometers. So you cannot wait for AC charging station. It takes about 6 to 7 hours of charging. So you want to charge your vehicle faster. So there you can charge the vehicle faster in 1 hour's time, and you can go. So those charging systems are already available, and there are standards for that. There are connectors. Different manufacturers use the different connectors. There are three standard connectors. Just not with confusing much, I'm trying to tell you three types of connectors. One is a European and American connector, which we called as a CCS connector. Second is CHAdeMO connector, which is coming from the Japanese countries, the Japanese car manufacturers. And third one is GB/T, which is coming typically from the Chinese manufacturers. So currently the older vehicles, which are Mahindra and Tata's, their older vehicles, that Verito and all, they are coming with Bharat EV charging, which is based on the GB/T. But now the pickup which is happening in the CCS area, government is pushing for CCS charging. So traditionally CCS and CHAdeMO will be the future mainly, which is looking as per the current government directives. So these are the two ways this is going to happen. So you can have the fast charging on the roadside and slow charging at the home side. So both ways it is possible. So you need not have to go to the charging station always. Another aspect which is government is giving a lot, that government is giving you a green meter. If you are having an electric vehicle with you, and for charging the electric vehicle, you can buy the power at subsidized rate. The cost of the power, which is available at practically, including tax, at about 7 rupees. per kilowatt hour. So commercial power is much expensive. Your domestic power is also expensive, but this power is available at lower cost. And for putting up the charging stations also, every government, state government as well as the central government is giving a lot of subsidies for next 5 years. So this is a good advantage which government is also giving, that please go ahead and use this vehicle, which is beneficial for country, beneficial for people, and end of the day it is not impacting my pocket.
Interesting. Of course, conscious of the time, but there are two aspects and where we would like to get your expert views. One is that you are talking about opportunities for engineers or new businesses. But before coming there, that would be, I will keep it at the end. But before that, you just mentioned about government doing a lot of things. They are talking about policies to push EVs. So we keep on hearing about this FAME and then FAME 2. Can you just throw some light on that?
Government has already announced FAME 1. FAME 1 is completed. FAME 2 is under implementation. And now the focus of the government is that make in India. So government is very, very clear that you are not going to get any subsidies unless and until you are not making the indigenization of the vehicle. So the Indian industry is going to get motivated. And that is a good part for the country, that Indian engineers, Indian industry is going to get a lot of motivation, because all these components are going to get developed in the local Indian factories. So government is very strict on the approving criteria. So the two agencies, ICAT and ARAI, which are the two government agencies, they are going as per the guidelines given by the government of India, that these are the component by component timetable is announced, which component has to become indigenized by what time. Then only you will be entitled for the subsidies and the approvals. So this is very clear-cut directive, and that is motivating more to me as an Indian and for my country, that this will help the country in developing the local engineers, local capabilities. And there is no dearth of the talent in India, and the Indian population is quite young, and the learning ability is the quality of Indian engineer is really, really great. So globally also, if you see, you will find all the big companies, you will find Indian engineers. So Indian engineers will now get much more work in India itself to do, and government wants that. So I think this is a very win-win kind of a proposition which government is also doing for us. So why not to take the advantage of it?
Wow, that's really excellent. And of course, I'm coming to the last point of opportunities for engineers, or for that matter, why just engineers, but also the working professionals and the people who want to start their own. So various startups, and I can see some of the startups joining also today. So where do you think, what are the opportunities for say mechanical or electrical, you keep on talking about, and even electronics and computer science engineers and the people?
See, the industry is going to go a very big dynamic change, and automotive industry actually, I need to tell everyone knows that how much pie of our total annual budget which it occupies. So the total GDP growth, out of which how much is coming out of automotive industry. So the industry is quite huge. That is the first of all, first thing. Then second important thing is that there are 25 to 30 types of businesses in this industry itself. It's not one business alone. Because when I'm talking about, let's say for the mechanical industry, see, every industry will have got their own agenda of working and the own competency. Like mechanical engineers, they will like to work on the body of the vehicle. They will like to develop on the welding techniques. They will like to work on the battery part, battery enclosures, battery thermal management systems. So there are many opportunities for them. They are going to work on the charging system. Like charging enclosures are also very big. So they are going to have the opportunities in that. Then you come to the electronic part of it. Then the battery management system, which is a very huge part out of it. Then the software engineers, they have to work on the algorithms. They have to work on the AI. They want to work on the machine learning. Motor builders, Now the new industry, which is because till that in automotive industry there was no work for electrical engineers actually. So now the electric motors are coming, motor controllers are coming. So this industry is going to get integrated. And apart from that, the battery swapping, which is another topic. Now, this topic I will not get touch. I will touch upon once I answer this question completely. So, this opportunity is wherein you will have n number of software opportunities, like battery charging station. Battery charging station is an unmanned charging station. So you need to have a data center for that. So you go on the battery charging station and connect the battery. You connect to the vehicle. So once you connect the vehicle, it is unmanned. So automatically on your mobile app, which will get activated, and you pay through your through your wallet. So just imagine mechanical, electronics, then firmware, software, hardware, all type of industries, and again backed up by the remote garage management. So actually the opportunities are abundant. And when I listed down, there are about 30 to 35 types of businesses. So people can come to us, we can discuss what kind of a businesses they are interested in. We can help them in building up those businesses, and we can help them in developing their businesses for the longer term, which is possible because this industry just started, and early movers advantage which everyone can get. And India, when we are capable to do all these things, we should not lose out this as an opportunity. So learning is very important in this, understanding your interest and capitalizing on that interest.
So interesting. And you talked about battery swapping, and you were also talking about fast chargers, slow chargers. I think the typical charging time is, you were talking about how many, 6 to 8 hours currently?
Typical charging hours for fast charger, it starts from 30 minutes. For slow charger, it is about 6 to 8 hours.
So there is going to be a lot of work or development
Yes,
going to happen on that,
yes, yes,
on reducing
yes,
charging time.
yes.
Listening to all this, Suhas, I have no doubt that India has a huge potential to become the global hub for the R&D for electric vehicles, because so much of talent is here, and I'm sure that India is going to help other countries also to build that knowledge base. So it's heartening to know, and as you know, that there are people joining from other countries as well, and particularly Middle East, Africa, or Southeast Asia, where the EV penetration is not much compared to China and Europe and America today. So clearly, I can think that this kind of session will be very valuable for them. Means they must have got a lot of takeaways, I'm sure, from this session itself. So would like to thank you for your time, and I know that this is not never going to be sufficient when we talk to you. Probably a number of days are going to be required, but thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.